Well, we're in the same room for once.
Yeah.
For a long time. For a long time.
The same camera.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, how the fuck do you guys get in here?
How's he? We knocked.
Oh.
No one answered, of course. But Chad, what episode is this, Chad? We get to it.
It's episode number 136. I shouldn't get too far.
You got to set up. You can't be loungy.
And as we speak, Tropical Storm Nicholas is
bearing down upon us.
Yeah, it's the outer bands have already been pissing on us this morning. And
does everything have to be sexual with you? Can we just let's just fly straight.
Show me your outer bands, Chad.
Yeah. Everything is pee on me. Just, come on. Let's just. It's raining. That's it. A little bit of rain. Okay.
Nothing. Give me nothing.
Okay. Back to you in the studio, Chuck.
The coast is going to get some about 20 inches.
Way.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Berger from Space City Weather. He used to work for the Chronicle. He said they've got a number chart to grade increasing degrees of severity for flooding. It's 3 now, right? Which is
gonna be a 3,
equivalent to some of the. I mean, not as bad as Harvey and Allison, but still pretty bad.
Yeah. Stay home, kids.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
So I hope nobody loses their homes for the next couple of days.
Or ever. How about that?
Yeah.
And they all lived happily ever after, amen.
Except for those cocksuckers.
Yeah.
So what's going on today?
Does your neighborhood ever flood during events like this? Yeah.
No, we're in the Heights, baby.
It's true. Yeah.
High heights.
And obviously the Bayou floods.
Yes, so from where we are, Buffalo Bayou is here and White Oak Bayou is there, and we're in the middle, but we seem to be in a nice raised area. So this is the oldest neighborhood in Houston.
And that slopes down going towards the bayou.
Yeah, anyway, we've had water. I've kayaked on the bottom street on the very right by Memorial. So yeah.
Was it Harvey that you went out on your kayak and had to struggle that it almost swept you out? Was the current stronger than you thought? Yeah,
that was well, you can't see the current. And we were down. I was down by the Greenwood Cemetery, and once you get past those trees where the road should actually where the bayou would be, 100-something feet under you, it just took the kayak and like a rocket.
Oh yeah,
and it was everything I could do to fight that thing back to
shore.
Yeah, or at least back to the still of the neighborhood, the shelter of the neighborhood. But yeah, it was freaky being above the trees.
Yeah,
above the trees over Greenwood or Glenwood.
The one that's over here.
Yeah. Howard Hughes.
Glenwood? Howard Hughes is there. Yeah. Good old Uncle Howard.
Yeah. Yeah. Wet Howard today, but it's freaky. And then I came upon a truck that had stalled out, and I kayaked over it. I could see just above the cab, and I've just thought for a second, wow, what if somebody's in there?
Yeah,
it would
be even weirder if you heard this.
Hey, yeah. hey, are you cold?
Are you cold?
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago. That's fine to make jokes about it now.
Yeah, damn right. Now, actually, they're taking that building down, the building where the old folks home. It used to be a Holiday Inn 100,000 years ago. And they're taking it down. And it's strange going that run and you coming back and the whole skyline's appeared. Because they took the parking garage down. So now there's no obstruction between...
Do you know what's going to be going up there?
No idea.
No
idea. I'm hoping they're gonna implode that thing because that's gonna be fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
So
interesting.
So what's going on today, Chad? What's the topic of the day? Should we recap what happened over the weekend?
Yeah, why not?
Definitely.
Talk about what's going to happen this week.
Yeah, well, we start with David Carr, right? That was our Friday night.
It was a really great turnout. I was really happy to see so many people there. Yeah.
David Carr, as you may or may not know, a long time Blaggard fan. And even back before Blaggards, one of the first bands I put together was called On the Dole. And he and his twin brother, Billy, would come out to see those shows. So we've known these guys forever, and they've I said it in Kingwood. I said it on the mic. Probably not as eloquent as I should have, but it was nerve-wracking because their whole extended family were there, and it was nice to see them, but you hate it being under those circumstances and blah blah blah. But Billy and David have brought so many people together. So many people know each other and hang out and are friends because of these guys. Not just in the music, but they had a place called Mama Hattie's before where they really put a microscope on the Irish community, and they were able to draw these people in, and people with Irish heritage, people with funny accents, people with speech impediments, everybody with that everybody in that community just bonded through them, and then all these bars now that have come out. So it was just great to see, Kevin from Pimlico was out there, and of course Eamon, who owns all the Mollies, he was there. A bunch of people from ex-staff members from Mama Hattie. So a bunch, throughout the history of their love of Irish heritage and their music and their friendships and all that stuff. So it was just great to see all those people. So what I didn't say was that Billy and David had always embraced. It was funny that they would embrace everybody that joined the band, that came in, and everybody that came to see the shows. They would, we would have a laugh at somebody's expense most of the time, but because they were just hysterical. They were just, they would nonstop comedy, but never hurtful. It was always a good. You got a shoe in, but it was funny. It was so they were responsible for a lot of people meeting, but they always gave every band member that came in, what's this? And you what? Oh, and we'll see how they do. And they'd be encouraging. They'd be hey, they really did a good job, and their strengths and weaknesses and blah blah blah. And they saw and heard everything, every lyric change, every bad note, good note. They were on it. Just true lovers of all kinds of music too. So yeah.
There was a gentleman there, white hair, glasses, kind of wearing like a kind of a blue and white kind of Hawaiian shirt, kind of a bigger gentleman. That was there definitely for the beginning, the first set. I can't remember what his name is, though.
Charles Doc Doherty.
Okay. So he came up to me. Yeah. He came up to me during the first break, and he's like, I wanted to tell you guys that he's like, we understand how the pandemic really affected you guys. Like, but I want you to know that during the live streams that we used to do, he's like, it was something that was really needed for a lot of people because they couldn't have the experience of seeing or being with you guys to see you live, but we could all communicate online. And he said, you don't know how much that meant to people. So he wanted me to tell you guys that, or tell us that, I guess, was that it just really kind of brought people together. And there were people from Ireland that were commenting, and people from obviously here that were commenting, and people that knew each other. And they were like, it was their way of being able to stay connected with each other. So, yeah, he made a big point to tell me all about that, how much that meant to him and a lot of people. So, yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, you would always see. I would go back over the chats from the live streams, and Davey was always in there.
Yeah,
he was always in there, but if he wasn't at the show. So,
yeah. Doc, the guy you're talking about, he was a great fan. He actually came with David to Ireland with us.
Yeah.
He was helping David. He had he really put everything, all his energy into, because he'd been really sick before the trip, and he really fought back to health, to as close as he could get to being healthy. And Charles Doc Doherty was right there at it and caring for him the whole way. Just great friend, and he would have done it. He'd do it for anybody, but he's that kind of a person. And Doc is beloved by everybody too. His mother just passed away, 96, I think she was. So he's going up to Philly now, and we were talking about that. And but just Doc is a dear friend. There are a couple of coffee shops around here, a couple of really good coffee shops around here, and one in particular called Catalina. I was sitting in there one day and I was waiting on him and had his coffee ready for him, and he comes in and like Eric said, he's not a small man, large in everything he does, large. But he comes walking in and he busts the door open and he goes, "Man, that Pilates class kicked my ass." Everybody in know.
What?
Dog.
Yeah, good show. Good show on Friday. Fun show. Yeah. Nice and loose, relaxed.
Yeah, and people are just really digging the.
People enjoyed it.
Yeah, but the camaraderie and Michael Carr, he texted me on. I don't know when it was. I keep my phone off for Sherwood and for things, so I didn't see a lot of this stuff till Sunday. But he had said, look, really enjoyed it. There was a big. The family really enjoyed it. Davey's grandson got up and played Bowron with us on the first song. They had to have all the kids out before Eric starts.
Yeah.
So we brought him up and we played a song with him because his dream was to be like his granddad and get up there and play with Blaggards. So that was nice, very nice.
Yeah, that was cool. So then Sherwood.
And then Sherwood.
Oh, so where do you begin? You still got dust in your lungs?
I know that there's. I bet you there's dust on every
piece of gear
that we have.
There certainly is. It was funny when we go to the end of the night when the lights come on and you're looking up at the sky and it's just powdered air. I mean, it's just
powdered air.
Powdered air. It's just, thick thing. And you go, oh yeah, that's what we've been breathing all day. Okay, good. So yesterday was a lot of fun trying to. Even today, I'm still wheezy and but that might have been one of the most fun shows. Yeah. We played 3 times, and I can't tell you a favorite, but I can tell you that there was a ton of energy, and the people were hungry for that. That was a cathartic, nearly event.
It was an impressive turnout. I mean, all things considered, too. It's definitely was not sparse. I mean, in years past, I think if it wasn't for the pandemic, there probably would have been twice as many people there because it gets pretty jam packed in there. But it was still a really good turnout.
And hats off to the staff. I mean, really put you roping off that area. I know it was for the dance at the end, but they roped off the area. They kept everything. There was space everywhere, and they all wore their masks, and they just did the food was there on time. The drinks were plentiful. I mean, just everything. And then, of course, Snicker runs the stage and did an amazing job. And then Jonah ran the back of the house and just ran and made sure that everything, and it was there on time. I mean, just clockwork.
Yeah. I mean,
so it ran smooth, and then the sound guys were tremendous.
Yeah. I mean, Jonah between like helping bands get on and off, and then also being like, hey, we have drinks over here. Pizza's coming in 30 minutes, blah, 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 blah. And and Merlin running sound and
Alex was doing front of house.
Alex was front of house, yeah.
And Wolf. Yeah, Wolf was half and half.
Yeah. It was good.
So that Sherwood gang is as Zane, of course, along with George and Brian put the whole thing together, and they really did. They deserve so much credit because there's their main event is the Sherwood Renaissance Fair, and then they're in the shadow of the Texas Renaissance Fair because that's been the biggest for I don't know how long, but the bitching and again, we can say this because we're not involved, but the bitching and the thievery, I say thievery, and that's just me, just from what I've heard from the vendors and the punters and the crew, the prices, the price gouging, the everything, they just keep adding on and on and on to these fees and these things. So Texas Ren Fair just seem to be out grabbing money, and Sherwood just seems to be, from what I can see, they look like they take care of all their campers and their vendors, and there's just very, very happy crew.
Yeah, that was a very common. I had that conversation with like three or four different people. I think that's just how Sherwood is. It's kind of like Ren Fair, but just a lot cooler and less corporate. So
it doesn't Disney own part of?
Do they really?
I think they own part of the Texas Ren Fair. That's why.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
and again, that might not be a fact, but
they might as well be. I mean,
I really
been
think they
around
are.
for 40 years, 50 years, or something like that. I mean, they're just really huge.
I would look it up on my phone right now, but it's charging all that porn.
I'm wearing a Disney shirt, so.
Yeah, my only complaint about Saturday, which was really just the side effect of the way they set things up. Normally, in years past, in pandemic-less years. What?
Normally, in years past. Comma. In years past. Comma.
They would, for the last set especially, people would be up against the stage, big pit in front of us, and that was always really fun. But this time they had it roped off, I think, primarily to prevent people from getting too crowded, I guess, to prevent super spreading or something. I don't know. But the cool thing about that was that meant that Solar Rain got to perform right in front of us. And in the past, they'd be on either side during our show.
Weird.
So we could kind of see them if we turned, but while we were singing, we couldn't really watch.
And if people were up in front of the stage, they weren't even looking at it, probably, right?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
So they would, their attention would be kind of split. But so that was cool. My only complaint though is when it got dark and they had those huge, really bright stage lights pointing at us. People were so far away, we couldn't see anybody. Jack shit.
Yeah. I could see like the first couple rows only when the fire dancers got close because the fire would illuminate them. But then I was like, I'm guessing there are people here. Yeah.
You could hear them.
Yeah.
So and that's usually how it is on most stages, most professional stages. That's how it is. You can't see the audience because of the lights. But so that's fine. But we could hear them. The audience was they were there.
Did you see that one guy that walked out and stood in front of the rope?
Yeah. Was that right after the fire dancers?
Yeah, the fire dancers were kind of done for a minute and kind of getting themselves together because they were doing a set after us, without us. And there's that one guy. Is he a friend of ours? I don't know.
Johnny? Was it Mike?
Was it Johnny Hereford? Yeah. Okay. I could barely see him.
He broke ranks and was standing there, kind of like getting his mosh face on or whatever. I was like, well, I got 2 more songs, kid. So
yeah, and that was. And like I say, usually I can't see most of what Solar Rain's doing when we're performing. So to actually get to see them, but it seemed like it was even more choreographed than it usually was. Because during Big Strong Man, which I don't know if this was a spontaneous thing they came up with on the spot or if they'd actually planned for this, but it seemed to be kind of Benny Hill inspired what they were doing.
It kind of was.
Violet comes out without any fire and she's just dancing on her own. And then the other guy, I don't know what his name is. He's the new kid in the troupe, I think. Came at her with this fiery sword, chasing her around. Yeah. And that was cute. Anyway, good stuff.
MVP Lori,
and who sold tons of stuff. I don't know if it was that a new record?
Yeah. It was a record by a lot, but it was the strange thing, well, not strange. It's commonplace for Sherwood, but we're still not used to it. Is the boxes hadn't hit the dirt, and they're tapping her on the shoulder. Hey, what have you got? What's in? Standing up right in line, ready to buy everything, and so she didn't get a break. So we get there at 11:30 a.m. Mm-hmm. And we left at 10? 10-ish, yeah. 10?
Yeah.
So say 11:30 a.m. till 9:30 p.m.
That's a good 10-hour day right there. Yeah.
She did not stop. She didn't, she did. Luckily it's in the forest, so she didn't need to relieve her, No, but it was
She squatted behind that tree she was next to.
Yeah. It was stunning.
We did feed her. She did eat. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And we got her beers and water, so she was good.
Yeah, we pulled some branches down. And,
yeah. Ate some pine cones. I love the taste of that pine cone. Mm-hmm. So nutty.
Yeah. So, but yeah, she just, I mean, just, and then bouncy and chirpy and, even after all that, just, I was like, so yeah, she's just, so you've heard it, she's been on SlapperCast before, and just an absolute treasure. You just, such a grueling day. That now the other thing is too, the weather was gorgeous. I don't think there was a cloud, for 60 hours in that area. I mean, it's just been gorgeous, but the humidity was way down.
Yeah.
So we were kind of shocked at the usually you're just baking. It just, but it was really pleasant out there.
Yeah.
And again, with all the help backstage and with all the, the food and the drinks and stuff like that, there was just, it was fucking paradise. It was, compared to some of the years that we've been up there, you get out of the van. And, we usually have played the Friday before. So you get out of the van and it's early in the morning. I was like, oh, God, kill me. And that wasn't the case this time. We got out and it was just, I think it was Shillelagh or something.
Shillelagh was playing.
Yeah, they were playing. They were good.
It was pleasant. Yeah.
And it was, it was nice.
My favorite was watching Ed Miller. I don't think I'd ever seen him play before. He's a Scottish singer-songwriter, guitarist. Did you catch him?
He was very Scottish.
Yeah. But it was just. He reminded me. I know he's kind of in the same pantheon as our friend Seamus Haney. Is that his name? Seamus. The guy up who we met him up in Scranton.
Oh yeah.
Is that his name?
No.
No. Anyway, but he's total old school dude. Really good at what he does, and I went up and sat right in front of him just to watch as soon as I realized how good he was, like, damn, I'm gonna go watch this guy.
Yeah,
he was fantastic. Yeah, so I want to catch some more of his stuff.
He's a radio show in Austin,
across the pond.
Yeah.
He's been living in Austin apparently for a long time.
He was funny. Every song was, I'm gonna need a little help on the chorus, and this one, like, he's just trying to get everybody to sing along with him, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, I need a little help with this one.
Yeah, he was great.
His arm in a sling too, which was kind of weird. When he walked out on stage.
Not while he was playing, but after he finished.
Was it his fretting arm? I think.
Possibly. I can't remember.
I thought it was left arm.
What's up with
I
this?
offered to help him carry the cases, and his wife or whoever it was like, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. Calm down.
Yeah.
I didn't say, may I steal your instruments? I said, may I help?
Yeah.
Boy's got a fucking cast on.
Yeah.
He was like, should we go this way? He's like, no, I know where I'm going. And he turned to me and went,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in good hands.
My only complaint was the lack of backstage etiquette by one of the bands after we were finally done for the night. When it's that point where it's been a long day and you just want to kind of pack up your stuff and load the van and stuff like that, and it was challenging, more challenging than I think it needed to be.
Well, we're under the gun still because we have to get the stage clear. We were the last act, right? So there's nothing on the stage after us, but we have to have it clear because Solar Rain needs that. They were going to do a performance, on the grounds. And that's their moneymakers that time. So any time that we're just think about it. So last beat, stop. People are just in the habit of getting up and going the fuck home. Mm-hmm. So we've got to move fast because we want to clear it off to say, because we told them throughout the thing, hey, it's not done. We can hang around, but you still you don't want to. The majority of those people have been there all day.
Yeah.
So it's been open since 10 a.m. The grounds have been open since actually earlier because of the games. So say 9 a.m. A lot of people have been there since 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And, so now we're going on 12 hours here at this point, coming up on it. And so we're the last band. The other band had ample time to get their shit gone. But instead what they did was they set up an obstacle course in the back. So we had to fucking... like a fucking circus performance trying to get our shit off the stage. Okay. And then you keep track of it too. Now remember, this is not a backstage where it would be, you roll your stuff to the back. We're dealing with medieval, reenactments of medieval times. So there's not many flat surfaces, and if there are, they're usually groaning. They're usually begging for mercy. But so we get out there, and then you're tripping over cases and stuff like that, and then it's dark, or it's not well lit, and it's not so you have to, and this is where guitars get lost, or effects pedals, or just something that's really fucking important gets gets moved into the shadows, and you miss it, and you're gone, and you're 2.5 hours away from it, when you need to go on tour in a couple of days. Yeah. So it's excruciating, and it's also infuriating because of the technology has it now to where you can really get your shit together and have a good sounding, minimalistic, space.
Yeah. I couldn't figure out because that other band, I think that guy he played one guitar. But it seemed like there were like 17 guitar cases back there.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it just
they were all hanging up. They were all hanging up in the back.
There were so many cases. I was just like, "What's going on here?" And the other band, Shillelagh, who I'll speak highly of, because all their stuff was gone. I mean, it was already like once they got done playing, they were still hanging out. They were hanging out, just having fun.
Yeah.
But all their stuff was all gone. And the other band, it seemed like they had more stuff.
Yeah, that
once
was
we got backstage to unload.
They had a whole hour to get their stuff off, and they were still unpacking. And it wasn't just us too. Alex and Merlin and Jonah and all were trying to get the shit off their stuff off.
It was a little bit a lot frustrating for me anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I walked up to Chad. I was walking back to Chad to the van to get my bass drum case out because all the cases were in there to go. And I just walked up to him and I just went, "Unfucking believable!" in his ear, like whispering it loudly. He's like, "What?" I go, "They're still backstage."
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
Anyway,
so that's my rant for the day. But other than that, my first time like really playing there, like on that stage. Obviously, back in February, we played a couple parties, which I had talked to V about. And he was like, "You were there at the pirate party?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like one of my first, for second month. Well, actually, still in my first month with Blaggards. Then
it was a Sea Dogs camp.
Sea Dogs camp. Yeah, he's like, I did that party. I'm like, well, I was there. I don't know where you were, but that was the one where Rigger was like, we had met, and then he was like standing behind me the whole time. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, this guy's okay." And so, but that was my first time like really experiencing like that, what Sherwood is supposed to be, and it was fun, a lot of fun. And actually, a lot of my friends, not a lot, but a few friends from Austin were there. Kind of surprising. One texted me, and she was like, "Hey, we're just hanging out." I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then my buddy Sherry and Jason Jason plays bass, and I played with him, 100 gigs with him at least, and so we had a nice visit and I got to hang out and stuff like this. So it was a good day. Weather was great, food was great, beer was great.
Actually, we played the campgrounds twice with you before the pandemic.
Yeah, we played on the pirate boat and then that weird wonky stage. Yeah. Where Chris Buckley jumped around and like almost killed himself in the last note.
Yeah, that was the fundraiser for the animal shelter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And speaking of Chris Buckley, we've just we can announce today. Is this on?
Yep.
Yeah. We can announce today that Buckley is going to join us for Weston. So
awesome.
Weston announced on.
Wait, is Weston happening?
Yeah.
It is,
This is
a
news
one-day
to me.
thing this time.
It's news to you and it's news to me.
Well, tune in.
What day is this on?
Tuesday.
Chad, what episode is this?
I spoke to Michael Coakley on last Friday, and he said yes. He said we're going to do it a one-day festival Saturday. However, Blaggards will play Friday
In the pub?
at O'Malley's.
Okay.
And then we'll do the festival Saturday.
Cool.
And I called Buckley. I said, hey, what are the chances you can cross state lines with us? And he said, I'll ride like the wind. Chris crossed the line. He never stops.
That is beautiful news.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so that would be Friday, Saturday, and he said, "Is it just going to be Friday, Saturday?" I said, "Well, Sunday might." So we may stop in to see our friends in Wichita on Sunday if they're interested in doing a thing. So, but he said, "Yeah," he said, "Count me in."
Is Chris going to ride up with us?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
So
We'll give him his own seat if he needs it. I'm gonna lay down in the back.
no, I told him he rides with the cargo. He knows. He knows.
He's skinny enough. He can fit up in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what's happening this week, fellas?
We
Speaking of
hit the
current
road.
events. We do what?
We're hitting the road.
Oh my God.
Starts in Dallas.
What day?
Thursday.
My birthday.
Yeah.
I'll be a deck of cards.
Ooh.
We talked about this in our little video update the other day, but this show, Thursday, is going to be live streamed, a ticketed live stream event. It's the first time we've actually had a ticketed live stream event, I think. At least a good one.
If you're in Dallas or the area, come to the show.
Yeah.
If you're not in the Dallas area, and why would you be?
Come to the show.
Come to the
Yeah.
show online.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pro. This is going to be pro. We did one ticketed live stream thing once during the pandemic with a company that
A startup
I'm not gonna
company.
mention
Oh
that
my God.
was awful.
Yeah,
So-
it was. Now I'll give them this.
Yeah.
Their sales pitch was good, and it looked decent. Looked like they had the marketing and stuff like that in place, and the sound and everything. They did not. They were a bunch of fucking clowns, and we ended up, being the clown
They
car.
led us to believe we were going to be mentored and like somebody was actually going to be really, and they made it seem that way. But truth be told, they weren't paying attention to anything that was going on.
It was the Fire Fest of online streaming.
Yeah.
If you know what that means, you'll know exactly
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
And if you end up looking it up, then you won't ever tune in here again. So
So yeah, anyway, this is going to be pro, and it's going to be 3-camera HD setup with Dolby sound.
Doubly.
so if,
So yeah,
yeah. So let's rewind here a little bit too. So before we even get there, we're bringing a young lady in from Phoenix, Arizona. Incredible fiddle player. Her name is Heidi Hill. She's going to come in, and we're bringing her to Houston on Wednesday. First time we're going to. Second time we're going to play with her. First time was back when we were this old, and so she sat in with us when we were on tour going out west, and. We've been in touch with her ever since. She's been a Blaggard fan and stuff like that, she's been wanting to play with us. Well, now it happens. So we're bringing her in on Wednesday, and essentially we've sent her all the tapes and all the stuff she needs to listen to. She sent me back a list of every song and more of stuff that she's learned and ready to go the way we do it. So she's and we all know her as being a professional. She has a book. She's written a book, and which I have.
A book about what?
Fiddle.
Like
That's
how
all
to play fiddle?
Yeah.
How to play fiddle in 10 easy steps?
She's yeah. Well, it's one of those things, eat this pill and and it's take a nap and you wake up this good. It's really good. So she is going to be here on Wednesday, and we're going to drive up Thursday, and so we have her for the Dallas show at Poor David's, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday it's our first time playing Scottfest, in Oklahoma.
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, people. Just kind of southeast of Tulsa by a sea hair, as we say in the van sometimes. Mm-hmm. Gonna be fun. 3 days.
Everything.
Playing 4 shows over 3 days. Short sets, but they're gonna be high energy, kind of like Sherwood, where we like as telling John about the 30th special thing. It's like we try to cram in, 3 hours worth of energy into half an hour. So that's why the shows seem like they're more rocking than usual. And the shows in Scottsfest are gonna be rocking.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the 38 special thing. I told somebody, I said, we didn't breathe in for 30 minutes. Everything was like, wow. And then I looked at the clock too. You had the clock set up and the thing. Yeah. 29 minutes, and we hit that last.
Fuck yeah.
And we were. I mean, just it was.
That's how you do it, kids.
That's it. That's how you do it.
These three guys right here, myself included, pro.
Yeah. That was one. It was kind of cool too. That as much planning and discussion as went into that set list, we still had to throw an extra song into it, but because
it was
just easy. Like, we need another song. Okay, here.
Just like whoops.
Yeah. So what we did was, we had double the amount of songs, a Dolby amount of sounds. Just keep everybody fucking happy. We had easily double the set ready to go, but we only found out minutes before we're arriving at Arena Theater that we have 30 minutes to play.
Yeah.
So luckily we don't have any songs with these meandering fucking. God, it cracks me up. You're at a live show and you got a song on there with a 20-minute airy fairy fucking. Lord. God, I just anyway. So breathe. So we, so you really only find out when you're there, and then you look at the thing and you go, yeah, we get it's 30 minutes, 8 songs, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
And then you get on stage, you go, oh fuck, we need it. Yeah. I thought something had broken because you're going, we're out, we need another.
Yeah, we had 10 minutes and one song left. Yeah,
the guys I was like, we need more songs.
We have more.
And that was the one we threw in was perfect.
Fucking perfect.
Prison's like 5-minute song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then jumping ahead a little bit, like getting to Sherwood, I thought that the sets were, like the song selections were exactly what the audience wanted to hear and what we wanted to play. And it was, I think we had 45 minutes, 40 minutes. I think the first set was a little bit short because of the sound, getting the sound right. And then the second set was, a little bit longer, and the last one was a little bit longer, but it was perfect.
But you also notice too, like I was talking about the technology today, you notice how quick we're on stage. Like I won't mention any names, but turn the fucking fan off. I don't need it. Let's go. Ready to go. Sticks in hand. Fucking foaming at the mouth. Let's go. No, you're
Start
just not fucking. But we get. You have the technology. You have it within you to be up and be ready. But I said, no, we need to make sure the computer is wired up. And since we don't, since we're playing to pre-recorded tracks, we're gonna need a 40-minute sound check on that line so we can make sure that we know what to fuck off. Just play music and,
And even that process can be streamlined.
I know.
The process of if you're going to play along with tracks.
I've seen DJs before.
Stuff,
Eric C. Hughes.
It's that can be streamlined, but it just seems to me like it's like fucking amateur hour with that other band that shall be named eventually. Maybe if you watch this enough and you see the schedule from last week and the schedule from next week, this coming week, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Anywho, what happens after fucking Broken Arrow?
Where do we go after that?
Well, to the airport. To the airport. And we'll be dropping off Lori and Heidi, and they'll be going to one Houston and one to Phoenix, and then we're hitting the road. We're going up to Bloomington, and so we'll play in Bloomington, then we're over to Harrisburg, then we're over to Concord, New Hampshire, then we're over to Maine, then we're down to Philly, then we're back to day in Philly, and then we're gonna go to Canton, Ohio, then we're gonna go to Illinois, and then we're gonna go to hit the road and be back in time for our Crate and Barrel show in Round Rock
with Chris Buckley.
Is Chris Buckley?
Yeah, he's gonna meet. He's gonna meet us and
Cool.
Crate and Barrel. He said he needs to get some new shower curtains.
Yes. So October will be the month of bucks.
Nice.
At least the first 2 weeks.
What was I gonna say? So that gig in Havertown, which is just outside of Philadelphia.
Havertown, sorry.
Sunday is going to be interesting because we are doing the pregame tailgate party at this bar for the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys game, which will be a Sunday night game, the Sunday night game in America. And if you know anything about Philadelphia, you know that their sport fans are over the top. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
It's the same. I'm going to say it nicely because I know how those fans are. They are over the top excited about their sports teams, their sports ball teams, and their little black hockey disc teams. So it should be a fun event. And we're playing at 4:00 that day. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, the schedule will be online, but it should be a fun. I watched they posted some videos on Instagram yesterday because they had a game yesterday. On Sunday. And looks like they're having a good time down there. And if the weather's good, we'll play outside. And it's going to be just
the weather's going to be great.
Ludicrous
cool.
party.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, going to be wild.
I'm excited for you too to meet Patrick's extended family up there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, as much as we can meet them, I'm happy to say hello.
At a distance.
So, you're talking about sports fans. Both Tim and they all are, especially Shimmy and Tim are huge sports fans.
Sports ball.
But Tim, not Tim. Yeah, Tim. Coached. Did he still coach?
He does it all.
Yeah.
He's a teacher, coach.
Yeah.
Coacher.
Was it baseball? No. It was.
He's baseball. Yeah,
It's baseball. Okay.
Yeah.
The baseball.
But
That's right,
he's a Tim Moen, my brother-in-law, is not just a sports fanatic, but he's one of these stat guys. And my nephew Patrick, he and Tim will throw dates, stats, ball velocity. I mean, just ridiculous numbers around college career, college stats, goes on and on and on, and it's fucking blinding how much they know about these teams. So yeah, they're big sports fans. But I think the quote of the day was somebody calls the club and goes, can we call it a pre-game thing because we hate Dallas as much as.
That's going to be great.
I emailed them and said, let's call like a pregame party or something like that. And we hate Dallas just as much as y'all do because Philadelphia and Dallas and football have a long history of long rivalry and just hatred of each other. So, but then again, everybody hates Dallas down here anyway, so it'll be fine. Yeah. We don't necessarily need to cheer for Philadelphia, but as long as we say that we hate Dallas, we'll be fine.
That's a common theme from a lot of your stage
stage banter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dallas, but we were when we were in chemo last weekend. You said one of those remarks about Dallas. So there was a guy who was watching us, and he go, "Hey!" and he lifted up his shirt, had Cowboys on it. He was a good sport about it.
You see when we were playing Boys Are Back in Town, he was walking around and doing this.
Oh, yeah, okay, no, I didn't see that.
Because they call him the Boys.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, I did see that because I was saying the boys are back in town, and he goes like this, and I said, "Not those boys." Yeah, fuck it. But I just wish I knew enough about football to hate it as much as I do. But I hate football, so fuck them all.
What's that joke about? The difference between soccer, which is also called football. I guess I call it maybe European football and American football. European football. You put a bunch of guys in front of a forest and they'll run in between the trees. You put American football in front of the forest and they'll run into the trees.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah, and also just so we know, just so we're clear on this, the Jeff Duncan played.
Oh yeah,
spectacularly. Yeah, that was
Saturday. Yeah,
that was we had some glitches on the stage just because some of the gear was. Just a little faulty, but played through it, and it was there were moments in that I was just kind of kicking myself that we didn't tape it, we didn't thing because we were going. We'd started to run our own sound from their gear, and once we got there and we realized how far they were behind on their setup, I said, "Fuck it, we'll just go with what we
could have." Yeah. I think our setup probably would have gone pretty fast, but the thing that the wild card was whether or not Alex would be able to actually control the board like he was.
Well, he said he was, and nobody's been able to do it with it. But we would have been able to set up fast, but the snake pit.
Oh my God!
It was already bad enough.
Yeah. So there's no way in hell. There's just no way that we could have set up and put it anywhere because everything. So when you got cables running across every inch of stage, nothing was and again, I'm not bitching at them at all, but when you have any kind of time, you really should, and any sound guy will tell you, you got to keep your every cable is essentially $100. Every, just look at it as, the mic stands, even the crappy mic stands are, $60-$80. So, when you see these guys and they're pushing the mic stands over, they're trying to be punk rock and, okay. So that's $100. You just, flushed it down the top, and all these cables. And then there's a lot of specialty kind of cables that are not, so it basically starts about $100 and up. So every time that you walk across those cables, you're taking another few gigs out of them. So, these, the snake pit of cables everywhere you look. If we put our board on top of anything on that stage and then ran our cables from there to give them the feed to our thing. So we were looking at least another 40 minutes of hell, and then having to get off because there's going to be other bands. And then, so
all those cables, pull all of our stuff out of our board.
Yes. It helped too getting there and see that they had really good monitors. They had QSCs out in front, which we have experience with. We know that they can push a lot of air and they got a lot of bass in them, and so it was okay.
Yep.
So
we're sounded good on stage too. Once you got it dialed in,
we're playing with plug-in gear where we don't have amps behind us,
right? And
I didn't have ringing in my ears at the end of the night. It was just we played. We were able to just deliver a really good show, and
because that could sometimes, especially now these days with us going direct, if we're going into shitty monitors without our in-ears, it can be pretty miserable.
Yep.
But this was actually very, very, very pleasurable.
So it was a couple of moments on the Sherwood stage where the backing vocals, you guys had just locked in so well, and the song it was great. It's a great feeling when that happens, but it's also just so reassuring. You're able to perform so much better when you know that the audience is getting a true, a true representation of what you're doing. And the new stuff went over really, really well. I'm so pleased that there's nothing worse than getting there and then just play the old stuff. It was really well received, and we got the
no new songs.
Yeah, that was fun.
Good time, good weekend, good weekend coming up. Gonna be fun.
Yeah,
we're gonna repack the van this week, and
actually, it looks like old Nicholas is gonna let us do it now.
Yeah,
it's kind of bright.
We'll see what happens. It might be a break in the weather.
Yeah, but it was, and so when we get back, we're gonna be doing the next couple of SlapperCasts on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll probably be a lot of van time. Greg and Sharon.
Yeah. But by the way, I am addressing a specific complaint from Sharon Fugate this week, because both of them prefer the longer shows where we're sitting down and talking. So that's why.
Well, you have to see a doctor if it lasts more than 4 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, it also depends if we have we have a couple of days off. We could also do one. I think we have the next 2 Mondays off. Mm-hmm. So we could do it
on the fly.
Like we can do it from live from the hotel room in Tulsa, and then live from the tattooed lady in fucking Philadelphia.
Yeah,
or tattooed mom, or whatever.
A tattooed mom.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, there's a question I want to ask you because I'm not sure I know the answer.
Not sure I know what the question is.
Well, before you joined this band,
can I get on the edge of my seat?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
You played with a bunch of different bands. I know you went on tour with John Doe and Jesse Dayton and some other folks. Yeah. What was the first real tour you went on as a drummer? Going back, like the very first time you went out for more than a couple of days. Yeah. And did you like it? Was it a good experience?
I kind of think it was. Oh, well, Stinson, we went to. With Stinson, we drove out to Los Angeles, and then we drove. Let me think about this for a second. I can't remember my day. Kind of like a long weekend. So we drove, and we played. Let me think about this. We played the Bootleg Theater on Friday. Yeah, okay. We played the Bootleg Theater on Friday, which is in Los Angeles. We played Pappy and Harriet's on Saturday, which is out in Joshua Tree. So out kind of go to Palm Springs, and then you take a left and go up in the mountains. Pappy and Harriet's is a really cool venue, and they have an old school Western town that Gene Autry did a bunch of Westerns filmed there, so you walk through it and it's like all the buildings are still kind of open. You just walk around and it's kind of cool. And then we drove back into Los Angeles on Sunday and played the Redwood Tavern, kind of a pirate themed bar right in downtown Los Angeles. You walk out the door and you can see the Disney concert hall there, that Frank Gehry building, and the Los Angeles Times building is right there. That was a weird gig. We'll have to talk about that one at some point. And then Monday we played this place called the Cinema Bar, which is a bar that Mike used to play when Mike lived out there. He played there every Monday, every other Monday. And the thing about the Cinema Bar is it literally is about as big as this room. It's tiny, fucking tiny. And there's a stage in the corner to the point where like you had to okay, I have to go to the bathroom, or I have to go to the bar, or I have to go outside. And it would take you 5 minutes to get anywhere because just to get through people.
Wow.
And the cool thing was that it was Mike's first time back there in a couple of years. So people were excited to see him. So everywhere we went, the crowds were fucking gigantic. And it was a fun, long weekend. And then we just drove back home and took a couple of days to get home, and it was fine.
So that was your first extended road trip? Yeah.
I mean, because every band that I've ever played in has been like, maybe just like a Friday, Saturday kind of thing. Nothing really far out. Even in New England, we never really traveled.
Yeah, I was expecting your story from before you came to Texas.
It was never more than a couple of days in a row, maybe like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But when you live in New England, I mean, especially where we lived, you drive home after the gig because it's only a couple of hours.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like driving to Austin or something like that because the states are so fucking small.
What was the longest tour you went on?
I think that John Doe tour that we did in the summertime. I can't even remember what the dates were, but I remember we flew to San Francisco, and then we drove all the way up to Bend, Oregon that day. We got in the car, and John had a van with a trailer, and that's a long story we can talk about sometime about how that whole thing went down.
Well, how long was that?
How long was that tour? Months? 3 weeks, I think.
3 weeks, okay.
And then so we drove it to Bend, Oregon. I mean, from San Francisco, which is pretty far. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of started there, and then went around up to Seattle and Portland and Olympia and everywhere else. And then we drove back down to California. So we had a couple days, like a day or two, where we were just kind of driving, getting situated. Mm-hmm. Then we did a bunch of stuff in California, and then we came home.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The Jesse Dayton tour. Actually, the Jesse Dayton tour with Scott Byron was kind of long too. We Colorado and kind of went northwest up into Washington, then all the way back down to San Diego, and then we came home. So,
yeah, 3 weeks is about the longest we've ever been gone too.
I think that's about the length I've gone. Excuse me. Yeah.
So that's a good length.
Yeah.
People sometimes ask us because there are these touring bands that just do nothing but tour. They're out on the road for most of the year. 3 or 4 months at a time, and then maybe a break, and they go out again.
Well, like that shirt I was wearing on Saturday, the Mike Dillon band. Mike used to play in, what's it, Billy Goat and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He's always on the road. Every time you look at him, he's doing something somewhere with somebody, and it's weird because it's like he's got like his punk rock thing, he's got his like regular kind of band thing. He just played at Ricky Lee Jones for like a week or something like that. So I can imagine what his schedule is like, but motherfucker's always out there doing something. I don't even know I think he may have an apartment in New Orleans, but I don't think he's ever there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Dillon used to play with these. I first saw him in 10 Hands back in the late 1980s. So I don't know if it was his first band, but he started Billy Goat after that.
Yeah. And I have a friend who plays drums for a band called the Petty Saints out in California, and he and I had just casually talked about maybe doing a double bill with them, and they'd be a good hookup for the West Coast because they know all the venues out there. Oh, cool. So maybe in the springtime we can talk about we'll talk about getting on the road with them. Maybe it'd be a good double bill. Their lead singer is from Ireland, but raised in London and now lives in San Diego. So the whole band's out there, and they're more of a kind of a power pop rock band. But I think with our with our rock and trio stuff, I think it'd be a really good fit. So look for that in the future. Maybe a tour with the Petty Saints. Check them out online. They're fun. Just a good old rock and roll band.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So the only people that we'll be playing with after Scottfest on this tour is going to be the Outsiders.
Oh yeah.
And if you're in the mood, I would highly suggest you go check out on their social media pages. Elvirus has been doing these videos, these promotional videos.
He's nuts.
And the latest one is Lemmy, but he's done Elvis. He's done. He's done Al Pacino. He's done Christopher Walken. He's done. Just on and on and on. But if
Andrew Dice Clay. Hey, I'm over here now. Oh, gosh. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the second person to ever spell Hugush, but yeah, so he's nonstop. But that show, you're talking about good pairing, is that's another one where the genres are definitely separate, except there's a lot of common ground,
cross-pollination,
and they're just great energy, great players. That band's got great players. So we're I think this is going to be, thanks to Blackmatic now we'll be able to go out on tour with other bands, because before we weren't able to. People, you cross, you come into town and you play with these other bands, and the club will give you an opener, and you talk to them and they go, yeah, that show went over really well. Why don't we come down to you? We'll play with you. We go, yeah, you can do that. But the clubs that we play at do not have the budget nor the stomach for two bands, and the way that we play.
Yep.
So you're not going to be able to. So do you split the night with a band that's not going to draw? And we've talked about this before on there too. We've had the band that come in. We did them a favor. Let them play a set in between our thing. And they came on, and not only did it take forever to set up, but they didn't take any fucking time running everybody out of the building. So you got to be really fucking careful on who you... So what I'm saying is, when you go out on the road, it's as a two bands hitting the road together, that makes a whole lot more sense than bringing a no-name to your town. And I'm not dogging a band. I'm just saying, if they don't have a draw there, what benefit is it to the crowd, to the club, to them? So yeah, you get to play in front of our, anyway, it's this might be the birth of those kind of tours where we can actually go out with people and make it worth.
Yeah. So we'll be with the Outsiders on the 24th in Concord, New Hampshire, my old stomping ground. Well, close to my old stomping grounds. And then the 25th with them at Gino's. Oh, here's a funny story. So I texted a couple buddies up north, my old bandmates, and said, hey, we're going to be there if you want to come out and see the show or whatever. And they were like, oh man, we have gigs on Saturday or Friday and Saturday. Where are you playing and how long are you here for? I was like, well, we're actually on tour. So I don't have any time to really hang out unless you come to the show. And he's like, where are you playing? So I sent him a copy of the schedule. And about a minute later, he writes back and he's like, oh no, not Gino's. Because they used to play there when he was in a band years ago. But Gino's is under new management now, and it's a rock club, and it's been in Portland for a number of years, and it's going to be awesome and killer. But years ago, it used to be more of a dive bar, a shithole. And so he said we would gauge how gross and disgusting other bars were based on the Gino scale. So
how long ago was this?
That was probably back in the
90s?
Back in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, let me think about that. Maybe even the 80s, late 80s.
Oh, wow.
Early 90s.
I was just wondering if it was when we were there.
when those guys were playing. But then when they probably would have played Gino's was probably in the late 80s or the 90 to like 90, 94-ish. So, but it's under new management now, and it's going to be fucking killer. So
yeah, and so we're going to open for them at Gino's. They're going to open for us
in Concord.
Yep. So, but also the Elvirus Tim, he speaks so highly now of the guys over at Gino's. They that's their home. and they'll, they're so excited because they have been off. They've been, like us. They've been sitting at home. We at least got the record done. They've been really struggling. So this is going to be there's going to be an unleashing of all kinds of energy and fury and power and blah blah blah. But it's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it'll be good times.
Yeah. We're big fans of Portland. If you've ever been to Portland, Maine,
what a nice town,
gorgeous town.
Yeah,
and kind of kicking myself that we didn't, spend some time up there because I know we wanted to get to meet a bunch of your gang, but the speed in which we were booked and everything was snapped up, it was.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it was very, very, very exciting. It was because in the past it just seemed to take forever. In the we'll get back to you. That's 6 months away. That's not 6 months is no time.
Yeah,
we've been trying to contact anybody and everybody to get the you can't just post shit on a social media page and say we advertise. No, you got to call. Still have to call if there's a radio station, if there's a rag that. A local magazine that will talk about you, or a local a college station that will, play your music or talk about you. So we've been doing our homework, but 6 months is nothing in that amount of time. It really is. It's a blink of an eye, and it's because it's here we are. We're jumping in the van again and heading north. So
it'll be fun.
Yeah,
at long last.
Looking forward to it.
Well.
All right. Well, that was a lot of...
we covered it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just crossed the hour mark.
There you go, Greg.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Shit.
And just FYI, too, these guys had to be over here. This is 6 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. Just 6 a.m. So that's what you did to them. I hope you're happy.
Thanks.
All right. So I guess we can get to work then now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
And if you know anybody in any of those towns we mentioned,
yes,
or
please.
if you forgot, just go on the site and tell anybody and everybody to come see us. We're gonna need your help again.
That's right. All right.
See you guys.
See you on the road.